This video is going to be about a very sensitive and touchy subject for our family. So if you want to view it before you would let younger children do so, I would advise that. It's not that the subject matter is anything that they can't hear. It's just a subject that may not be, appropriate for a really young audience because of the content. Our last video that we posted on July 21st was about our beautiful family reunion in Gallatin, Tennessee. We had such a wonderful time being with each other, having fun, worshiping, just being, the big loving family that we are. However, this vlog is the total opposite as far as wonderful goes. It's about a family memory, and it's about that same area or an area close to Gallatin in Tennessee, but it is not a joyful experience or memory. As a matter of fact, most of our living family members don't know about what we're about to share, or either have tucked this away in their memory bank because it is a painful memory. But before we start our story, I wanted to share with you why we chose to make this vlog. And mainly it's because it touches on a very rampant and current issue that is just poisoning our society. It's an issue that has systemically been embedded in our society. And I wanted to share one of our family's experiences with racism, with the hope that we might touch someone else's heart who sees this or is part of acts of prejudice or bias. No matter how big or small those acts may be, they are very devastating. You may look at our diverse and loving family and think that racism has never affected us, but it has in a big way, and it still affects us. But I wanted to encourage each of you to do something, say something, whenever you hear or see prejudice or racist acts or remarks, especially if it's a family member or a friend or even yourself doing. We're going to talk to you about my brother, George Cooper Fitz. He was brutally murdered 4.5 months before I was born. He had just turned 19, and he was my dad's first son and my dad's second child. My dad had been married to his first wife, and they had 3 children before they divorced. So it was my sister Betty, who is deceased, my brother George Cooper, who we call Brother. That's his nickname, and that's who everyone knew him by, Brother. And then my sister Carolyn. And then when my dad married my mom, they moved they moved to Indiana, and they had 6 children. It's my sister Debbie, sister Donna, me, Diane, my brother George Dwayne, my brother Rodney Darrell, and my sister Daphne. My dad left Tennessee after his divorce, and we stayed very close with our other siblings in Tennessee, even though most of us never got to meet Brother. We were just too young or not born yet. So if we did meet him, we don't really remember him. We just know about the stories and pictures, and that's what we hang on to. I do know that Brother was a handsome, strong, athletic, fun-loving, hard-working young man with good character. He was a good son and a good brother. All 3 of my brothers even have a birthday that is within days of each other, the beginning of July. But anyway, in the 50s, in a small country town. It was a town called Cottontown, which is just on the outskirts of Gallatin. Brother had gotten a sharecropper's job on a white man's property. Sharecropping was common then. It was a lucrative way to earn a living. It's when you would live on a farmer's land and you would have a part of their property where you would farm it And in this case, he was farming tobacco, and he would sell it, and then in return for rent for living on the property, he would give the landowner part of his crop to sell for himself. We were told that the landowner's daughter had a crush on Brother, and Brother had a crush on her. And actually, a picture of his daughter was found in Brother's wallet when Brother was found murdered. And we all know, just how cowardly and brutal racist acts were in the 50s in the South, especially when they were dealing with interracial relationships.
Okay, Carolyn, like you know, Diane wanted to do a video about George. Just wanted to try to get some information. So anything you want to say or anything you remember, just go ahead and do it.
Okay. Where do I start?
Start with talking about what kind of a person he was. Since he died before I had a chance to know him, just talk about what kind of person he was.
Well, he was a good person. He was a good brother, good son, and he was lively. He was always liked to scare me. I was afraid of, when we were little and lived in the country, I was afraid of granddaddy's spiders. And he would chase me all over the country. And he was just, just a good person. Me and him, we were real close because our other sister, Betty, she never did like to play outside. So me and brother was outside just about all day when we wasn't in school. And we would build wagons and roam all over the country. Because we didn't have enough sense to be afraid of snakes or anything. We just roam all over the country, eating fruit, just doing stuff together that we enjoyed. Until after he got a little older, well, it was two friends that he had out there, lived out there close to us, and he started hanging with them. Then he started telling me, I want to go. No, you can't go. You stay here. Because I guess I was too little to hang with them.
Yeah.
So he started hanging with them, and he liked to work. He enjoyed working. Just a good brother.
Just an overall good person.
He was.
Well, he was working when his life ended. When wasn't he in that what stage of life he was at? He was working.
Yes, he was sharecropping. He was had moved on this man's farm, and he was raising a tobacco crop. And he had, just before he got killed, he had sold his tobacco crop. And he had about $300. He got about $300 out of it, because back then that was a lot of money.
That was big money, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he just had sold his tobacco crop. And he came to town that night. It's some restaurant, I don't know. I forget the name of it. But he was having a good time, probably showing off his money. And then he got into an argument with this guy. And, well, it was his stepdaddy, really. They had a misunderstanding about something. So after that, when they got ready to go home, he said he didn't want to ride home with them because he was mad.
Yeah.
Said he was going to walk. So.
But it wasn't a long walk, was it, for him, or was it?
It was about 3 miles, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
Something like that. So he took out walking, and on his way home, he had stopped at the Dairy Queen somewhere and got an ice cream cone. And when they found him, he was laying in the road. The ice cream cone was, they said, was laying up next to the fence. Mm-hmm. And whoever ran over him, it turned out to be one of the man's, that he lived on this man's farm, and it turned out to be the man's son-in-law.
Oh.
And so this man had a daughter, and I think her and brother sort of liked each other.
Yeah.
Because they said they found her picture in his billfold. Mm-hmm. But it just so happened the guy that ran over him just happened to be related to him. You know, because they told a lot of stories about who they thought killed him or what happened, but whoever did it had to have been more than one. Because brother was solid tall and stocky, and I mean, I just said one person couldn't have just
because he was strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was real strong.
Wow.
But
who found him?
Well, the guy that came along and ran over him.
Oh, okay.
He,
okay.
You know,
he reported
it.
Yeah.
Said he didn't see him laying in the road, but somebody had already said it stuck him under the arm with a kitchen knife. Yeah. I think it's just something that they just
kind of let it go.
Mm-hmm.
So what about the girl that you said, kind of liked him or he kind of liked her, whatever? Did she ever say anything or come forward that you know of?
No.
No?
If she did, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Because after it happened, everybody I tried to talk to about it just froze up, or they didn't know anything,
Yeah.
Didn't know what happened or anything, so.
Was, his personality kind of like Daddy's? Daddy didn't ever meet any strangers. He liked everybody. He talked to everybody. That's just how he was. Was brother a little bit more reserved than that, or was he more outgoing?
He was, I think he was a little more reserved.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
I also interviewed my brothers because my dad talked to them quite extensively about things that he didn't particularly talk to his daughters about. And this is something that, just really affected my dad, to say the least. One of my brothers has the memory of my dad telling him about the phone call that he got from Tennessee, letting him know that brother was dead, and then having to make that devastating trip there. He remembers my dad saying that it appeared that brother had been run over several times by a vehicle, and it turned out to be a pickup truck. And he also thinks that my dad shielded us from a lot of the details because we were young and impressionable. So, it was hard to recount all of the details. My other brother remembers Daddy telling him that the driver of the pickup truck was the brother or brother-in-law of the landowner's daughter. So you get that connection. The landowner's daughter had either a brother or brother-in-law who was the driver of the truck that ran over my brother. And my dad had told my brother that's living that he had confronted the landowner about his knowledge of my brother's murder, and the landowner had admitted that yes, he knew all about it. And then I don't know if anything transpired regarding that or not. We don't know. But I was able to pull up the death certificate as well, and it says that brother died from bleeding and the shock from chest lacerations. And then the same death certificate went on to say that his death was an accident and it was the result of being run over by a car. Oh, and by the way, as you saw in the video that my sister Carolyn made, brother was found in the middle of the road, and he had been run over by a truck, but they also found that he had been stabbed under his arm, where someone had stabbed him in a place that they thought would not be, easy to find, and they could cover it up with, running over him with a truck. So, based on all that we know, our family feels strongly that brother was murdered in a racist act of violence, and that the cover-up was not unlike so many that we see today. The coroner, the law enforcement in that town, and maybe the FBI was turning a blind eye. And I say the FBI because my sister Donna had come across some information, not too many years ago, where someone had requested that the FBI look into this case, and the case was not, or they're looking into, was very brief, and it didn't change anything. Even though the devastation and pain that we feel is great, we choose to rise above the ignorant and emotionally charged reaction of hating an entire race of people because of the tragedy that we suffered. Instead, we today are a tight, loving, multicultural group that consists of blacks, whites, East Indians, Hispanics, and undoubtedly more. And just like our family, your family is most likely a combination of different races, whether you know it or not. I love my family, and I'm so proud of who we are. This has been a very difficult video to make. I know that I've been stumbling over myself and over my words, but I did want to get it out. People, we are all the same species. We are all human. We are all people. And it's beyond me to think that people really put so much into being a racist. To me, it's ridiculous. But I say that, but then I'm going to also offer this to you. If you're suffering with racism yourself, or maybe you have members or friends who have racist tendencies, I am begging you to be brave enough, intelligent enough, strong enough, confident enough to educate yourself on how you can understand, recognize, and challenge racism in your life. Reach out to individuals of other races and cultures and get to know them personally. And please start speaking up against all prejudice that you see and hear. And by all means, get off of the "I was raised like that" bandwagon. It holds no water. You can think for yourself. You can seek out the truth. You can get to know people of other races and different backgrounds. And bottom line is, just be kind and caring to other human beings. And I appreciate you listening to this long-winded story. We have lots of other more detailed stories, around our experiences in this subject. But I think we're going to leave it at this for now. But I'm asking you one thing. If you would please share this video with everyone that you know, I would so appreciate it. I feel that it's a message that really needs to get out. I know a lot of people know of our family, but they don't know that we are just like the next family who have suffered through bias and prejudice. And if you could just share this, let us know, share with us, your comments, things that you have been through, any words of encouragement that you might have for others that are viewing this vlog. We would really appreciate it. Just like the video, share the video, and make a comment. I would really want to see if we could affect someone else's life by this. So again, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And this is Nanny's crew. Until the next video.